Hello folks, welcome to the Options Talk. This is the third edition. Today we will talk about long options versus vertical spreads. And before we proceed further, this is the disclaimer that there is risk involved with futures option stocks. So do your due diligence before taking any trade, and any of the content shown here doesn't constitute a recommendation. Coming to long options, it can be a long call or a long put. You simply buy a call option when you have a bullish view, and you buy a put option when you have a bearish view. This is a payoff of a long call, as you can see here, and a long option will have unlimited or undefined profit potential. This is the main attraction of buying an option. And the maximum loss is the premium that you pay for buying the option. So this is a risk defined strategy. Buying long options are the low probability strategies. It usually has around 30 to 50% probability of profit. So four things have to work in favor of the long options to be profitable. One, the direction, and two is the momentum of the direction, and three is the time, and then volatility. All of these four factors should be in the favor of long options for it to work out. And these strategies, long option strategies, should be ideally be placed when the implied volatility is low. That is, when the option premiums are very low. So it's cheaper to buy the options. I'll show you an example of.
Just one thing, Raghunath, if I may interrupt.
Yes.
In the first slide, you showed the unlimited gains or potential. That is something which I always highlight. Why people go for this, because it is unlimited gains, but it is only on paper. I have seen so many times whenever you buy a, let's say a call at 20 rupees and you see it suddenly at 100 rupees, the first feeling in your mind is to book it. It might go to 500, but that remains on paper. You don't, there is hardly anyone who will trail it to 500 after having bought it at 20. So you invariably end up booking early. So there is nothing like unlimited profit. That is what I wanted to say.
Yes, you're right. So I'll give you an example like why all these four things have to work in the favor of this long option. So this is a long option position. Is simply a buying at the money call, and I'll show you the Greeks here so that it's easy to explain why it is important. So you look at the Greeks in rupees. So delta tells you the directional exposure of the long call option. So for every 1 point move, this call makes 40 rupees. And the most important thing is
you
the
mean
theta
100?
here.
For every 100, it moves 40, right?
Yes, every 1 point move in the Nifty, it makes 40 rupees, this option.
Makes 40, okay, fine.
The Greeks is in rupees. And the most important thing is the theta. As you can see here, with this strategy, if nothing happens in this strategy, like market doesn't move at all, then every day you will lose around 750 rupees for just holding this strategy. So you have a huge theta risk. And then you have a Vega risk. Vega risk, so if the volatility increases, of course, this option will gain around 520 rupees for every 1% gain in the volatility. But contrarily, it will also lose 520 rupees if the volatility drops by 1%. So it has a volatility risk, it has theta risk, and it has directional risk. What I mean by directional risk is if the Nifty, for example, in this case, drops by 1 point, then you lose 40 rupees. 100 points, then you lose 400 rupees. Sorry, 4,000 rupees. So you have directional risk. So that is why it is important that all these three, direction, moment of direction, and time and volatility, all should work in the favor of long options. Now let's look at vertical spreads. In the vertical spreads, we buy a call or put option, and at the same time we sell a call or put option of a different strike, but of the same expiry. So here is a typical payoff of a vertical spread, where in this case this is a bear put spread, where we buy at the money put option and then we sell a out of the money put option. Vertical spreads, unlike the long options, they capture only moderate underlying moves because the delta is comparatively very less to compare to the long options. This has limited risk, bullish or bearish positions. As you can see, the maximum loss is capped. It has lower to medium probability strategies. So the probability of profit is around 40 to 65%, which is better than the long options. This strategy minimizes the risks associated with the long options. For example, as I said, it has directional risk, the long options, the movement of direction, volatility risk, and time risk. So all those risks are minimized in these vertical spreads. You can use different kinds of spreads under different volatility conditions, which I will talk about in the next slide. You can combine, if you properly structure the vertical spread, you can combine directional as well as implied volatility view. In the vertical spreads, again, there are two kinds of them. One is the debit spread strategies. So a vertical spread is called debit spread strategy when you buy in the money or at the money options and you sell at the money and out of the money options. For example, a bull call spread or bear put spread strategies or debit spread strategies. When somebody says buy a spread, which means you buy a debit spread strategy. So this is a typical example for a debit spread strategy. It's a bull call spread. So you buy at the money call and sell out of the money call. And the same way with the puts. And then you have a credit spread strategies. In this, you sell at the money or out of the money options, and then buy out of the money and far out of the money options to define your risk. So bear call spread and bull put spread are the examples for this, for example. And then when somebody says sell a spread, it means it's a credit spread strategy. So this is an example of a credit spread strategy. This is a bull put spread. So in this case, we sell at the money put option and buy out of the money option, and that becomes a bull put spread. And you can clearly see here the payoffs are totally different, though their positioning is similar. Both are bullish, but have different structures. Credit spreads have higher probability of profit than debit spreads. Because you're selling an option, here at the money option, you have higher probability of profit with the credit spread strategy. Historically also speaking, if you sell a credit spread strategy, it has higher win rates. If you do so many trades, you have higher win rate compared to a debit spread strategy. Debit spreads are ideal under low IV conditions because you are buying a spread, you want to buy it cheap. So it is ideal under low IV conditions. And credit spreads are ideal under high IV conditions because you are selling a spread, you want it to be expensive. So under high IV conditions, when the premiums are high, you sell a credit spread strategy. Credit spreads are less directional compared to debit spreads. Here you can clearly see from this payoff, right? This is less directional than a debit spread strategy because the delta is relatively lower compared to a debit spread strategy. Credit spreads profit even when underlying doesn't move. For example, here, even if underlying doesn't move up or even down, you can gain from the credit spread strategy. But for debit spread strategy, it has to move in your direction in the favor of the trade. Otherwise, you will lose. So I'll show two examples of the credit spread strategies and also compare how it is different from long options. So this is a debit spread strategy. So bull call spread. We buy at the money call and sell out of the money call. Now you can clearly see here, compared to the long option, the theta has been reduced. Okay, you'll still lose around 120 rupees every day if nothing happens, and your volatility risk is also reduced, but your delta is also reduced. So you'll not have the same directional exposure as the long option, but you'll still have directional exposure. So you have minimized two risks: theta risk, which is a theta decay, and you have reduced volatility risk, and you also reduce the directional risk. So these are that is why this is more advantageous than compared to a long option. If you are going to hold this a particular bullish view for a longer period, like 8-9 days, 8-10 days, then the spread is a better option compared to a long option. The long option, if you, for example, if you want to hold this for 10 days, so you would be losing around 7,500 bucks, right? So this is ideal. The long options are ideal when you're holding for very few days, like 2 or 3 days. But if you want to hold it for longer, then this is a better option, the debit spreads or the credit spreads. And the same thing here. So if you compare here, the probability of profit is for the debit spread strategy is 45%. And this is a credit spread strategy where we sell at the money put option and buy a out of the money put option. Now you can see here the probability of profit is around 60%. But if you go and look in the Greeks, your directional delta is very less. So if it moves in the direction of the your trade, it gains very slowly compared to a debit spread strategy. And here you're actually gaining theta, which means if nothing happens, you are gaining around 31 rupees every day. And this is also short volatility. So if the volatility goes down, you will gain around 45 rupees for every 1% drop in volatility. So these are the advantages of vertical spreads over long options. So now you can choose depending on the IV conditions. If low IV conditions are there, buy a debit spread. If high IV conditions are there, you sell a credit spread. So now this is the
just 1 minute.
comparison.
1 minute. Can you slightly specify what do you mean by low IV and high IV? Because that many might not be aware.
Yes.
In
So
terms of
low
value.
IV. Yes. So low IV means the option premiums are very less. For example, normally if you look at this IV value here, sir. So Nifty IV value currently is 34. But on an average in last 1 year, the Nifty IV value was around 16. So that is the average value. But if you look at the current value, it's 34, is very high compared to its average. So ideally under this condition, you should be selling credit spread strategies. But it's not a necessary requirement, but ideally you can sell credit spread strategies. And similarly, if this IV was below 16, right, around 16 or slightly above 16 is fine. But if somewhere around that area, then you can buy debit spread strategies because the option premiums are cheaper. So, and you can tell like whether IVs are high or low by using the IV percentile. Okay, if this is above 60, IV percentile above 60, then you can say IV is high, and below 60, IV is low. So if you compare now the long option versus the vertical spreads, as I said, this undefined or unlimited profit potential, that is the main attraction of this, or the only attraction in this case. vertical spreads, of course, you have limited profit potential and limited risk. Though both are limited risk in vertical spread as well as a long option, here the maximum loss is much higher compared to a vertical spread. This has lower probability of profit, and this has lower to medium probability. So for example, if you do credit spreads, they have higher probability of profit compared to a debit spread, which has a lower probability of profit. And here you have theta decay, as I explained already, theta decay, volatility decay, and directional risk. All the three risks are there. And all the three risks are minimized in the case of vertical spreads. And in the long options, the underlying has to move fast to be profitable in your direction. And the vertical spreads, they have to, even if doesn't move much, it's okay. But it has a longer time period for the trade to work out. So if you're bullish and if you want to give longer time for your view to work out, like 10 days or 8 to 10 days, then you would go with a vertical spread. But if you have a view for 10 days, then you don't buy a long option because you have a high theta decay risk. So that is all for me.
Now with reduced margins, vertical spreads are cheaper also, right?
Yes, vertical spreads. Yes, that's a good point. Earlier, if I had to do a simple debit spread strategy, it would take around 60 to 80,000 depending on the strikes chosen. But now it's only 14,000 or something like that. So easily
That's
around
huge.
60-70% reduction in the margins. So if, for example, if you buy a long option, at the money call option right now in Nifty, it's around 18,000. And if you do a vertical spread, debit spread, it's only 14-15,000. So actually you're spending less on a vertical
It's
spread
cheaper.
than,
Okay.
yeah, it's cheaper than the buying option.
Cheaper but safer.
So yeah, and is also safer. So it depends on, like, what you want to do. So if you have a strong feeling that market is going to go in your favor in next 1 to 2 days, then you buy a long option. That is always there. But if you have a
Yeah.
longer term view, then don't buy long option. Go for vertical spread so that you give time for the trade to work out in your favor. So this is all for the long options versus vertical spreads. And I'll discuss about the last week's trade that we have discussed. We talked about this going a short with a put debit spread on Reliance because it was facing resistance at 1620. It was valid between 1570 and 1600. So on Monday, the Reliance, this last Monday, it opened around 1620 and came down below 1600. So during that time, we have placed this trade, and the stop loss was 2500 and target was 5000. So we placed that trade when it was around 1600, and this was the trade 1580 buy and 1540 sell. It's a debit spread. So it's a good example of for the vertical spreads here. So on Monday we placed this, and on Friday when the Reliance went to 1500, we exited this for 5800 profit.
Yeah, just an academic interest, Raghu. If this had been done as a credit spread, what would have happened? I mean, sell 1580 and buy 1540 or something like that.
Yeah, it would have still worked in your favor, but it would have been not this much profit, maybe around 4,000 or
Right.
something.
Okay.
That's the only difference. So trade idea of the week this week. So Nifty has been, it has rallied a lot, and has rallied also on the Friday after a big gap down. And I still feel there is a lot of growth, and Nifty is still not settled, and I'm not still bullish at this point of time. So I've still slightly bearish view at this point of time. So with my view, this is my view, I am going with a bear put spread. This is valid between 9,900 and 10,100, where 10,100 will be a resistance for Nifty. So we buy a 10,000 put option and sell a 9,800 put option. If tomorrow it opens gap up and stays below 10,100, we can still maintain the width. We can use different strikes, but maintain the width of 200 width. And the stop loss is 2000 and target is 4,000. And you can, the view is for next 1 week. So that is all from me for now. If you have any feedback or suggestion, you write to us. And now I will hand over to AP if he doesn't have any more questions.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. So please take over from me.
Yeah. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
You can see the chart, right?
Yes, I can see.
Yeah, okay. Thanks, Raghunath. And one big caution I have, because I have got some private messages last week by people who traded some 10 and 20 and 25 lots of Reliance put based on, since both of our suggestions were on a bearish view on Reliance. So we must caution that please trade as per your money management and position sizing. Don't trade just because we have said. Our view can go wrong. It will go wrong sometime. Though it has gone right in the first 2 episodes, it doesn't mean it will go right every time. In fact, I would advise with this new put spread and credit spread and put spread, debit spread, you should try that way because the margins are anyway less. So don't trade just because we are saying it is your money, so you have to trade as per your pocket size. So coming to charts, this is the chart of India VIX on a 0.25% box size. Everyone knows after February it had shot up from 15 to all the way to 85. But after that, it has started declining from March. In fact, this is a very good example why after March till the beginning of May, straddles and strangle shorts did very well because the VIX was declining. This is exactly what happens when VIX is declining. And now it has given a double top buy recently, but it is still below the moving average. So still VIX is weak in a way. Now, another way of looking at VIX is, which not many people do. Let me show you another way. Oh, 1 minute. Yeah, this is the ratio of VIX with Nifty. So in a way, it is a relative strength of VIX. Now, that also has shot up after February. That also is going down now. In fact, there are a lot of anchor columns. This is one anchor column at the top, another anchor column, third, fourth, fifth. And this is the biggest anchor column from May to June, 5th June. This is retracing now, but this also is below the moving average. So this also indicates that this ratio is on a downtrend, which means VIX is weaker than Nifty. In other words, Nifty is strong. So as long as this does not go out of the roof above the moving average, you should look at going long on retracements. Now coming to what charts are saying about the market. This is a 10,000 straddle. Since Nifty is almost near 10,000, I have chosen that strike price of a monthly strike price. Now this is interestingly poised at a very crucial support which is near 440, 445. And if you see the components, the call is 192 and the put is 250. Now this will be interesting on Monday because if it opens flat or maybe a bit of a gap up, then this call, the put will go down. So this 250 will go down, call might not go up that much, in which case this straddle will break the support of 440. So the straddle will keep going down, which means one can sell this straddle because in that case, more or less both this call and put will be similar to each other in terms of premium, plus minus 10-15%. In case Nifty gaps down on Monday, that is also possible. I mean, no one can predict. Then this put will go up. This 250 will go up and the call will go down, in which case this straddle will hold this support and go up. Then one has to see what happens near the moving averages. But of course, for Nifty to, I mean, this straddle to go down, go up very fast, Nifty has to go down by another 200, 300 points. Only then this put will start dominating largely. So again, one has to see this 435, 440 support on the straddle, and below that you can short it. Now another thing which I have seen on this 10,000 put individual chart, this has almost an anchor column over here on 11th June, and there's another anchor column on 11th and 12th June from 223 to 450. As long as this anchor column is intact, the low of 220, 225, Nifty remains bearish, which means the put remains bullish. So although the put is now at 250, it has come very close to negating this anchor column. So only when this goes below 220, Nifty will be bullish. So you keep an eye on this put premium also. This will be another way of looking at the market. 10,000 monthly put below 220, Nifty is bullish. Similarly, on the 9,900 put, which is also, I mean, the Nifty is between the two strike prices. Same picture is what you can see here. The anchor column is between 180 and 391. Right now the put is at 206. So another 25 rupees down on the premium, and this will become weak, which means Nifty will become strong. Now, if you look at the call charts, this is not showing a very good picture. Though there was an anchor column on Friday late afternoon, this is what the anchor column shows on the Friday from 12:40 p.m. to close. There is still an bearish anchor column which was at the from 11th to 12th June, when that was the time when the puts had the anchor column. So this will play an important role. So right now, my summary would be Nifty is still not bullish, which again is shown by the put premium, which are above the support. Unless this bearish column is negated, unless this call goes above 330, this can retrace. Though there is an anchor column here on 29th May, so this is 92. So the support is 92, is way below the current price. So I would think that Nifty will remain sideways for some time. Maybe a bit bearish, but that is only to start with, maybe Monday or Tuesday. And it is unlikely that it will shoot up above this bearish anchor column over here. So because of the strength of this anchor column, so I would look for buying on dips only near the supports or near the resistance of the puts. Right now, it is slightly bearish, is what I understand from the chart. This is the only trade idea which I have, because there is another one, but I'm not very comfortable with any of the call and put charts, which I saw about 40-45 stocks which are liquid in options, and none of them gave me a good trading setup, which again means Nifty might remain sideways, which is also proven by Raghunath's strategy, and that's why I don't have any specific trade idea, but keep an eye on these resistances and supports of the calls and puts. That's all from my side. Thank you.
Okay, AP.
Yeah.
So if tomorrow for these call charts or the put charts to break resistance or break the supports, so it has to Nifty has to gap up open when they do.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And then
for example, if Nifty gaps down, just an example, if Nifty gaps down, then this call option will gap down naturally. But then this support, which is at 150, near 150, will play a role. So you have to keep an eye on whether 150 is holding or not. If it holds, if it breaks, then Nifty is definitely bearish. In that case, the puts also will cross the support resistances. If Nifty gaps up, this might still go to 320, 330, but after that, again, because in fact that is the range which even you have found out, 10,100. So there again, Nifty will face resistance, which is what tells me that Nifty might remain sideways between the same levels which you have mentioned, 9,850 and 10,100 for the first few days.
Okay. Okay, perfect. Okay.
Yeah, that's all from my side. Anything from you?
Yeah, I also want to add the point that you made earlier, that these are just views of us, and whatever trade ideas or that we are giving, please don't do big sizes or whatever. Please do your due diligence. Trade small, trade often, as they say. So I just wanted to add that point.
Okay, then see you next weekend. That's all from us for this weekend.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, bye-bye.